Hello.
Hola. So today we are doing
volume
the
of
volume
cylinders
again.
and the
We're
volume
doing the
of cones.
square pyramid.
So we haven't done any of
and
the
the
cones
triangular pyramid.
So today we're going to start with
So
volumes
remember,
of cylinders.
volume
We've already
is the
done
number
this
of
one. It's
cubic
already
inches
colored.
that fit
The
on the
area of the base,
interior
perimeter
of the
base,
shape. So that means we're filling up
diameter
the
and the
shape. We're
radius.
not doing the outside.
The important thing to remember on cylinders is the diameter is the total distance across.
If you look
so if
on
they
your
give you the
formula chart,
diameter
you
and
should
you
see the
need the
formula
radius,
for
you have to cut
volume
it
of
in
a
half.
pyramid.
So our formula is like the prisms because the cylinder's like a prism.
So
Area of the base
times
times the height.
h.
You have
So
two
this
bases
formula is
that
the
are parallel
exact
to each
same as
other.
the prism
The
formula from
distance in
yesterday.
between those.
Remember over here that was
first we
volume
need to figure
equals
out
big
what
B
to
times
plug in
h,
for area of the base.
except for
What shape
it has the
is
1/3.
the base?
The reason for that is that instead of having two bases and just filling it all the way, it's coming to a point, so you only have a third of that.
So pi r
and we
squared
just
gets us
watched
the
a video
area
where we
of a
watched them
circle.
pour three
So
of
right now we're only
these
looking at the circle.
into
What do I plug
a
in for the
prism
radius?
to prove
That's what we just
this
talked about.
times
6 is
3
the
will get us the
diameter.
prisms.
So
let's
during the
start
last
with the
video for
1/3.
surface area, talked about how the radius
Right
has
here,
to be half of
1/3
that. So the
would
radius
just
is
be written
3.
as 1/3.
So we're going to plug in
Notice
3
that I
for the
already
radius.
split up my section.
So pi times
So
3
now we
squared.
need area of the base.
3 squared,
So
that's
what
3
shape
times
is the
3
base?
is 9.
Point to the
So
base
9
right here.
pi is the area of my
What
base.
shape
And I'm
is
going to
it?
leave pi in my answer
Good.
for now.
This base is a square.
My height
So
then
that's why
is
it's
this
a square
distance in
pyramid.
between the bases,
This is the same thing you do for a rectangle,
which
though.
is 14.
So to find the area of a square, look on your formula
Our
chart.
volume,
Base
we can
times
rewrite
height.
the entire formula
So
as
as volume
base
base of my base
9
is
pi times 14.
And at this point, remember lately I've been
Go ahead
telling
and
you to
get
go
caught
ahead
up.
and redraw it. So I could even,
I think I
if I
rewrote it
wanted
over
to,
here. Yes,
at
I
this
do.
point, redraw the base over
So
here.
volume equals 9 times pi
and
times
label
14.
that base
So
6
now we have to go ahead and multiply 9 times
inches
14
by 6
in case
inches.
our answer asks
That way,
for it in
instead of having to
terms
deal with the
pi.
whole shape and getting confused,
So 9 times
I'm
14 would
only
get me
looking at
126.
this part of the shape
pi.
over here. I'm going to actually
If our
move
question
this
is asking for
so that you
our
don't think that's
answer
part of the formula.
in terms
This
of
is a
pi,
picture of what our base
this
looks
is our
like.
answer in terms
So
of
the
pi.
base of my base is 6.
We would
The
be
height of
done.
my base is
However,
6.
if it's
So it would
not
just be
asking for the
6
answer in
times
terms
6.
of pi, we have to plug
And
in
6
pi.
times 6 gets us
So what do we
36.
plug in for pi?
So the area of my base is 36.
3.14.
And then finally the
So
height.
126
And notice that I
times
went ahead and made this height
3.14
red.
would
So
be
unlike on surface area,
395.64
when we do the slant height, the volume
yards
doesn't use the slant height, it uses the actual height
So if
because
it
that's the
doesn't ask
distance
for the answer
in
in
the
terms of
middle of the
pi,
shape,
that
and we're
is
filling up the middle of the shape, not
If
the
it
edges
doesn't
of the
ask for the
shape.
answer in terms
So
of
my
pi,
height
then our
is
answer would be
4.
395.
Notice on your net, the height isn't even labeled.
yards cubed.
So when we go to
So those
plug
could
that
go
all
with your
in,
answer.
we're going to put volume
Now the thing is that this is
equals
pretty simple,
1/3
and a lot of
times
times
36
they ask for
times 4.
volume for a cylinder.
So,
They
plugging
ask it
these
a little
numbers
different.
never
There'll
is a
be,
problem
you'll be
for
reading the
people.
word
What
problem,
ends up
and
being a
within the
problem
word
for
problem,
people
it'll
is this
say
fraction
something to the
1/3 right
effect
here.
of
They kind of get
if
freaked out. So 1/3,
Marisol
well, that's the same as splitting
fills
something into
the
3 pieces and only taking one of them.
cylinder
So if I
half
tried to do 1/3,
full
and I
of
rewrote
water.
this whole thing right here, 1/3 times 36. So first I'm going to do 1/3 times 36.
How many
I'm going to leave the
cubic
times
yards
4
of water will
alone. 1/3 times 36 is the same thing as taking 36 and splitting it into 3 pieces. What operation is that?
What
Good,
would you
that
do
is
then
division. So
to
over
find
here,
out how
I'm going to
many
do
cubic yards of water
36
she would
split
need?
into 3 pieces. If I split 36
hopefully
into
y'all
3
said
pieces,
it.
3
Did
fits
y'all
into
say
3 once. 1
I
times
asked
3
you a
is
question so that you would say it out
3.
loud.
Third half
She will
0.
need,
Bring down my 6.
yeah, you would just divide this number then
3
by
fits
2.
into
So if I
6
wanted to answer this
twice.
question here,
2 times 3 is
I would simply
6.
take my
And I'll be left
answer
with nothing
and divide
here.
it by 2 to get
So 1/3 times
halfway
36 is 12.
Sometimes they'll also like
So when I
draw
go
a
to
little
rewrite
line
this, I'm going to
here.
write volume equals 12
And even though the height of the entire cylinder is
times
14, they'll
4.
say this is like 4. And
So
they'll just
multiplying by
ask
1/3,
how
not a
much
big deal.
jelly
Multiplying by 1/3 is the
is
same as
in
dividing by
the
3.
cylinder right now.
So now
then you would
12
use
times
4
4
as the
gets
height, but you'd
me
still use the rest of it
48.
the same.
So my volume
that's
is just
different ways they might
48
ask
inches
about
cubed.
cylinders.
48 inches to
So
the
onto
third
the
power.
cone.
Because
For the
volume
cone,
is
we're going to
filling
go
the
ahead and label it
interior.
with the same
So there's
number.
3
So even though you
dimensions
don't have your colored
involved.
pencils,
Thank
we're
you
gonna
for watching.
label
Let's go
this
ahead
cone
and move
with
on
the same
to
numbers from
triangular
over there.
pyramid. We're going to
So
go
I'm
through
gonna
that one a
keep
lot
the
quicker,
diameter
though.
is 6.
So I'm going to go
The
ahead and
radius
pause
is
this real
3,
quick.
and the height here is 14.
Okay. So we're about to go on
So 14
to
is going to be the
triangular
height in the
pyramid.
middle.
When you switch the page, some of you might not
The
already have
diameter
this
is then
down,
going to
so
be
I'm going
6.
to give you
and
a
the radius
second.
would be.
Go ahead and pause the video
So hold on real quick.
and write down the numbers that belong to the triangular pyramid.
Okay, so go ahead
The
and
formula,
get those
the exact
numbers
same
down
formula,
on
'cause it's
there.
still a pyramid.
And then we can
So
fill in the
1/3 again is the
information. The
exact
3D
same.
shape is a
Big V stands
cone,
for area of
and
the
the
base.
shape of the base.
So if I
then
look at my
is
base,
a
what shape is my base on this? It's the triangle, and in particular, it's the triangle at the bottom. So again, instead of dealing with the whole shape, I'm going to go ahead and
So
just
to do
draw
the
my
volume
triangle
of a
off to the
cone,
side.
It's very similar
This is
as
my
doing the
base
volume
here.
of a pyramid because you still have a
I'm going
base
to label
opposite
that
the
so that I don't
apex or
have
vertex
to
up there.
think about it. I just know exactly what numbers.
So we're going to start with the formula. The formula is the same as a pyramid. It's 1/3
So
area
right
of the
here
base
in the middle,
times
that's
the
where my
height.
8 is
So
going
we're
to
gonna
go.
leave
That's
the
not the
1/3
area.
there.
That is the
What are we going to
height
plug in for
of
area of
my
the base?
base.
Well, if
Yeah.
you notice, this base is the exact same size
change that.
as
So my
the
height of
base
my
over
base
here. I
is
said
8.
the diameter is 6 and the radius is 3.
The base
so
of
really,
my
I know that
base
the area is going to be
is
9 pi
also
like it was here.
8.
But I can plug in the formula, pi r squared.
So right here, the base of my base
And
is
I'd
also
plug in
8.
3 for my radius,
And these
pi
slanted
3 squared.
edges are
Notice
10
I
each.
don't use the 6, that's the diameter.
So now when I go to do big V, I don't
Which
have to
gets
worry
me
about
pi times
anything on
9,
the
'cause 3
whole
times 3
3D
is
shape.
9.
I only have to worry about
My
this
height
base
then is
that I
still
just pulled
going to be 14.
and rewrote.
So we're using the same numbers
So,
to prove a point. The
formula
only
for
difference
area of a
about this then,
triangle,
if they have the same base
1/2 BH.
and the same height, is
What
that
is
this
the
is a
base
cone
of
and the
my
last one
base?
was a cylinder.
The base of
So
the
the only
triangle is
way
8.
that we know
What is
something's
the
going to be
height
different is
of
that
my
there's a
base?
1/3 in the
The
formula.
height of the triangle
So let's
is
work this out.
also
We're going
8.
to do
So I'm
1/3
gonna plug
times
this
9
in. I'm gonna say
pi
big V
times
equals
14.
1/2. 8
So at this
times
point, it's easier to do 1/3 of 9, but I'm going to go ahead and do 9 times
then I can just
14
work it out.
since
Remember,
we already did the
multiplying by
cylinder over
half
there.
is the same as dividing
So
by
volume
2.
equals
So
1/3
8 divided by 2 is
times
4,
126
times
pi.
is 32.
So I need to take
So
1/3
you
of
got lost
126.
getting from
Remember
here
to
to
take
here.
1/3, that's
In
the
a
same
second,
as
we'll
doing
just
what
work together.
operation? Good.
So then
Dividing
my
by,
H is the height of the entire prism.
So we
So I'm
would
no
say
longer talking about my base, I'm looking at the
126.
entire prism. The height of the
Sorry,
prism
that's a
is
2.
12. So I'm going to plug in
Divided by
12 for my
3. 3 does not fit into 1.
So when I rewrite that, it's 1/3
3
times
fits
32
into 12
times
4
12.
times, which leaves us with nothing.
Well, I think I rewrote it
Bring
over
down
here.
our
Let's look.
6.
Yes, 1/3 times
3
32
fits
times
into
12. This one is a little
6
bit different
twice.
because we can't
that
split
would be
32 into
42.
3 pieces
So volume
quite
equals
as easily.
1/3.
So remember, we said with multiplication we can switch the order and it doesn't change anything. So I'm actually just going
Times
to
43.
switch the order here.
There you go.
So you
Volume
can
equals
rewrite this as this. So 1/3 times
42 pi
12
yards
times
squared.
32.
And if we were doing our answer in terms
This
of pi,
part
we
I
would
can
be
do
that.
quickly in my head.
If we're
I'm
not
doing
doing our answer in
12
terms of pi,
divided
our
by
last
3.
step is to plug in 3.14 and work
Hopefully
it
all
out,
of you
which
know
will
that
get us
12 divided by 3 is
131
4.
and 88 hundredths.
So that's 4 times 3
yards.
gets me 12. So I don't have to work that
And
out,
that is
actually.
it. That is how you do
1/3
volume
of
of
12.
a cone. Same as the cylinder,
gets
except
me
for the 1/3 because it is like a pyramid.
So now volume equals 4 times
Let's
32.
get started.
And 4 times 32 is 128 feet, cubic in feet, actually. So 128 cubic feet, and that is all. Okay, so make sure you have down all your notes. We're about to do some more examples together. You have both of these examples now, and tomorrow we will move on to cones and cylinders. Thank you guys. See you in, well, actually, I see you right now.